Now, speaking of making our country better, making America great again, it's literally what he's doing. He has, obviously, we've watched the left cry about it. They're melting down because he is stopping the flow of illegal immigration. He's closing the borders. He's packing all these illegals up onto a plane. Actually, funny story on that. Stephen just showed me yesterday. Stephen, was it yesterday that you showed me the plane? It was like this big, huge jet, and it was full of deportees that they were flying out of the country.
Yeah, I think that was yesterday.
And he showed it to me, and I was like, is it just me, or are you getting turned on just by watching this? Like, I was like, whew, it's hot in here, Stephen. Show me more.
I'm pretty sure they were from Minnesota, too, so.
Say less. My gosh. How much longer do I have on this show? I gotta go. So it's like so beautiful to watch. And, obviously there's more to be done. I get it. But he can't get 20 million people out. It's probably even more than that. He can't get that many people out all at once. I get it. And also I would too say you can't just stop with the illegals. There's a huge problem with the legal immigration system too. Well, guess what? President Trump's working on that as well. Help is on the way. President Trump, here we go. Trump administration indefinitely pauses immigrant visa processing for 75 nations. Authorities said the action aims to crack down on immigrants the Trump administration believes are likely to become, this is the key point here, guys, likely to become reliant on public benefits. It's not about the color of their skin. It's not about even what religion they are, which I kind of wish it was. It's about whether or not they will be a drain on the welfare system. If you are coming to this country, expect to put in more than you take out. So this is for countries, Brazil, Iran, Russia, Somalia. Your days are numbered. Unless you can contribute more. Well, if you're from Somalia, you're not going to. If you got the light bulb head, I got to imagine you're not going to give more than you are going to take. Due to the fact that, your brain don't work good. Listen, don't blame me. Blame the IQ tests. That's not me. That's the IQ tests. And also them for the inbreeding. But anywho, I know the left is melting down right now. I know that they're crying their liberal tears. And while they taste delicious, I just would like to just remind them that even the Democrats have agreed that this immigration system that we currently have has been broken for literal decades, including everyone's favorite hyena.
There are people there that are stressed, that feel that they're at capacity. Communities around the country that have legal immigration, many have said, we're at capacity. And many feel like the government has said to them, well, adapt, sit down, be quiet. This is how it is. What would a Harris administration do for those communities who've taken in many, many legal immigrants but are at capacity?
Well, first of all, we do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed.
Really? Great. I'm glad that we can agree on that. I am so glad that we can agree on that. And you answer that way while the woman is saying, hey, is there like a max? Is there a capacity? In a building, you have a max capacity. And if you hit the max capacity, the fire station is called. You can get in big trouble. If you go over max capacity. What if you just go over max capacity in an entire country? Are we going to do something about that? Well, actually. Actually, yes. Yes, it is a problem. We do have a broken immigration system. Great. I'm so glad that we can agree on that. Now, obviously, we need to go further, but okay, we'll take the pause on immigrant visas. What else we need to do is blow up non-immigrant visas too. Now, you might be asking, what is the difference? Especially if you're an American. I get it. Before I started looking into this, I was like, I'm just a privileged American. I don't understand this visa system you talk about. I never have to deal with it. I don't care to understand the complexities of the visa system. Actually, you should, because we need to understand what we're dealing with and what we actually need to push to have fixed. So an immigrant visa it's issued to a person who wants to live permanently in the United States. Right off the bat, that's what they're saying. I just want to move. I just want to be there permanently. Non-immigrant visa is given to a person who does plan to go back to their home country. But the point of the non-immigrant visa is it's a temporary basis for several, it's like tourism, medical treatment, business, temporary work, or study, as just sort of examples of what that non-immigrant visa would be. So it's almost like you're making a declarative statement when you apply for the visa. I want this to be permanent or I don't. But there are big problems with the system, because one of the best examples that I can give you of the non-immigrant visa is the H-1B visa. Now, the H-1B visa is a real freaking problem, guys. Okay, they're giving out at least 65,000 of these every single year. And this is the visa that is supposed to. The point of this is to bring in people who have this very specialized skill set. The best and the brightest. It's very, very, very unique, very hard to find. The point is we literally can't find American talent in this specific skill set. We can only get it from this one place, which just so happens to usually be India. But we can only get it from one place. It's this very specialized engineer, very specialized, Department of Defense contract. It's like these very, supposed to be a niche thing. But a lot of these visas are not going to a very specialized skill set. It's not going to the best and the brightest. It's literally just taking jobs away from Americans. They're very American jobs. Let me give you from Indiana State Representative Andrew Ireland. Taxpayer-funded Purdue University disclosed it is hiring a foreigner on an H-1B visa to teach marketing. Because, he says, does anyone seriously believe no American in the Chicago area can teach marketing for $127,500 a year? The same university even has a PhD program for marketing students. Gosh, we couldn't find any American who had the ability to teach marketing, of all places. We got to go to India. So this is a big problem. And by the way, an even bigger problem that it is a non-immigrant visa. It's supposed to be used for temporary work. That's not how they're treating it. They use it. They come in here. They keep renewing it. And then they just move here permanently. That's a huge flaw in the non-immigrant visa system, and it needs to be fixed. Now, I will say the good news on this is President Trump did put a $100,000 fee on those type of visas to slow down the flow and to make sure that they are going to the right people. You're going to need to put some capital into this. You're going to need to show us that you really mean it. You want to come here and provide a really specialized skill set? You're going to need to show us that you really mean it. Now, I love that. And I love that energy. In fact, can we get the vibes? I need a vibe check from President Trump on just how we feel about all of these people coming into our country and taking advantage of our resources. Not anymore. Not anymore. That's the vibes for all of these immigrants coming in here and stealing American jobs. That's how I feel. Now, we still need to go a step further. Again, I get it. We need to stair step. We need to baby step. That's fine. But I'm just saying we don't stop here. Okay. I also love Senator Marsha Blackburn's vibes because now she and some other Senate Republicans are pushing to deport and denaturalize fraudsters amid the Minnesota scandal. So she's leading this bill that is going to deport illegal immigrants and strip citizenship from naturalized Americans, naturalized citizens convicted of fraud. Sure, you can go through the steps. If you qualify, we can naturalize you. Now, I would argue we shouldn't be doing that in a great majority of these cases, but sure, don't think that stops. You signed a piece of paper, and if you don't hold up your end of the bargain, we can just ship you on out. Now, this also would be her bill, retroactive going back to 1996. So if you've come into this country and you are committing crime to rip off Americans, I think if you're committing crime, just generally speaking, not just ripping off Americans, but including stealing our taxpayer money, ripping us off, committing fraud, you just don't deserve to be here. You just should go home. You don't belong here. So we'll see if Democrats get on board with this.
Do you expect any Senate Democrats to support this?
I would be honored to have them support it, and I think they should support it. When you look at, why would anybody be pro-fraud?
She says that, and God bless her. I agree with the sentiment. Why would anyone, unless you are retarded, you would not be pro-fraud? However, might I just posit a little theory? Unfortunately, Senator, they are retarded. And they are fine with fraud, because we saw how they acted when Elon Musk came into the building and was like, oh, $3 billion of fraud here, $10 billion of fraud here. It turns out there's a whole lot of taxpayer money that's being totally wasted that doesn't have to be that way. And they were like, no. So I agree with her in sentiment. However, in practice, I don't think you're going to have any Democrats on board with you rooting out the fraud. That's how far they're gone. Now, on top of all of this, we've had this, again, I know we're all privileged Americans, so I don't know if you guys realize there is the green card lottery system that they have, and that gives up to 50,000 immigrant visas to just random people who apply around the world. Like, I kid you not. Like, it's literally like the lot. Like, you play the lottery, you just go buy a ticket and you're like, ooh, I hope I win. That we just do that. We just allow that. Its official name is, I'm not even kidding, the Diversity Visa Lottery. It's DEI, a DEI lottery system for the whole world to come to this country. That's just a bad idea. I don't think I need to sell you on why that's a bad idea. Now, President Trump put that on pause late last year. Now, you're like, well, why? What finally got him to do that? Oh, well, just because the Brown University shooter came into the country through that program. It turns out a diversity lottery system where we're just like letting people like apply and like, ooh, I hope I get it. And then what are they like constantly refreshing their screen? Like you're going to buy tickets on Ticketmaster and you're like, did I get in? Did I get in? Did I get in? It turns out there are some people who could fall through the cracks on that system. Maybe they should have some sort of investment in coming here and bringing something worthwhile, bringing something valuable. Now, I will just end with this. As we move into the midterms and as we move into, I don't know, literally any future election, don't think for a second. I mean, President Trump is doing a lot of this just like unilaterally by way of his executive orders or by way of just he is the top executive and this is how he is changing things. He doesn't necessarily need it. But there are a lot of things that once the Democrats get back in power, they can just bring it all back. In fact, they'll double it just to spite us, just to spite Orange Man bad until we're at max capacity. And then even then, let me just tell you, they're not going to call the fire department. I can promise you that. Okay.